Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today's tip is smile. As women, we hate to hear you should smile more, or you'd be so pretty if you smile. But you know what? Guys weren't lying. They love it when you smile. But you know what drives them absolutely batty? Is when you smile for absolutely no reason at all. When you're truly incredibly joyful and happy, and you just don't even give two you don't care about them. You don't your joy, like my smile when I smile is authentic, and it's definitely helped in a lot of situations. I talk to other people and like, how do you get away with that? Like, I do shift, and I don't know if you remember, I think it was called Supermarket Sweep or something like that, and it was this game show in the 80s. I was like in the 80s and 90s, and like they brought it back every decade or so. I think it might have started in the 70s, and it would like run for a couple of years, and then, but anyways, there was like a game show element, and then at some point they would like run through the store and they would have to like load up their cart and they would try and get like the most money or whatever, and there'd be bonuses and stuff, right? So if you've ever seen that show, when I do shipped, that's what I look like. I will run through the stores. If I am bored, I will skip through the stores. Like today, I was skipping through Target because, hey, why not? It's kind of a weird thing to do, maybe, but it entertained me as I worked. And I love to skip. Skipping is really fun. I used to skip everywhere when I was little. Skipping was my favorite. I would skip everywhere. My grandma and I would skip. I really hope that when my kid decides to have kids, I'm the grandma that skips, because I definitely wasn't the mom who skipped. I was like super overweight and bad knees, and I skipped when he was little, but uh so just being happy in general, right? So I run around the store, I skip, and most of the time, like, people will literally just like see me coming and like politely move out of the way. Or if I like just say, I'm like, oh, excuse me, can I get past? They like politely move out of the way because I'm polite and everything. Except for this one lady who like didn't even think I had the right to exist. But that was like one person. So I'm not gonna let, and honestly, she may have been mad because every time I looked at her, her husband was doing like, that stupid meme where like the guy and the girl are walking, he's looking back. Like, so maybe it was that instead, because she was mean and nasty and not a very attractive person. I mean, maybe she would have been attractive had she not been mean or nasty, because I really do have this theory that nice people are so much prettier. Like, have you ever met that girl and like you think from you think before you approach that they're really pretty, and then they open their mouth and they start talking, you're like, they're ugly, and then vice versa, like you can be like, oh, that's just an average person, and like then, like, I have a few people who I have known, and they're just truly like the nicest people you could ever have met, and they were so incredibly beautiful because of that kindness, like it shone from within. So I think that's what's happening with me, is like I'm smiling and I'm happy, and that joy is truly coming through. Now, I think what really upsets guys is the joy is completely independent of them. The smile is not to get their attention. And when I do get their attention a lot, like, it irritates me more than anything. So then I'm like startled or irritated. I'm not like, they managed to make me lose my smile, and I don't think they like that. But uh the thing is, though, is that finding that joy and finding that smile, most of the time I am truly happy. I'll have rough days. I had a horrible day today. I am shocked I still have a horn, because I think every terrible driver was on the road today and managed to get right near me. I was cut off multiple times. I had a guy play Stop on Green, Go on Red. I don't know if you remember. It was a stupid Gen X game, like Gen X, elder millennials. And I always thought it was dumb. I never played it, but it was you would just sit at a green light and go at the red light. So like it really was just a jerk move because you really just screwed everybody behind you. And then everything. So like it was a rough day, and like the shipped app kept malfunctioning. I had one person's address came out wrong, multiple pictures came out wrong, texts weren't going. One of my regulars who I deliver for and is normally really good at communication, her phone number was disconnected, and it was not like she did not get her phone cut off. I highly doubt that she did not pay her phone bill. She's in a very nice house in a very nice suburb and everything, and in a more financially stable situation. She's not the can't afford to pay my phone bill kind of a situation. But so I was unable to contact her. So like it was just everything kept going wrong. But now I'm home, and as much as my entire body hurts and as hormonal as I am still happy. And I feel like when you can find joy and be happy in your life, it makes it a lot easier, because a lot of people look for joy in the wrong things. They look for joy in things that cost money, oftentimes material possessions. But I have a tiny home. It's really a crappy home, to be completely honest. Like I am afraid like to do jumping jacks in my house for fear that I'll fall through the floor. I probably wouldn't, but still. It's not a great house. I live in a big metal box, or a small metal box, depending on, what you consider big. So sorry, not the greatest, but I have an older car. It's like 6 years old. It's got 150, 160,000 miles on it. Not great, but it gets me from point A to point B. I have all sorts of things that I could be miserable about. I have all sorts of things. Like I could say, like, I used to say that my tiny home dream turned into my tiny home nightmare. But the thing I didn't realize is that my whole life at that point was a nightmare. I bought September of 2019, and then I'd gone down to Florida because the job that I had up here wasn't working out. So I went down to Florida to earn more money as a server during season. And then on leap day, I got rear-ended and ended up injured and in PT and out of work. And then first day back, I got laid off because I was a server. Then there was money issues and the pandemic and everything. Like, who wasn't miserable? So what should have brought me joy didn't. And I blamed the house because that was like the newest thing per se. But I really don't think it was the house, because now I'm like really happy and want to keep the house because I like the situation with the taxes and everything. Sorry. And my kid's almost 18. They'll be moving out, so it's more than enough space for just me. And, it gives me the freedom to travel and experience my dreams and everything. So I'm okay with it. Like, I thought I wasn't for a while, but I am. I'm actually, I really am happy about it. And then just the more you're happy with who you are and where you are and what you have already, the less you feel like you need to spend on big, expensive things. If you're happy with the car you have, you don't need to go out and buy a $50,000 car. If you're happy with the clothes you have, you don't need to go out and buy a new wardrobe. I really feel like the only reason you should need to go and buy a new wardrobe, like a whole wardrobe, sorry, is if you grow out of your clothes or shrink out of your clothes. So if nothing fits anymore because you are too big or too small for it, or if like, something happens like a major life event like pregnancy, then yeah. Or if you wear out all of your clothes. Like maybe you're like me and you wear clothes to the end of life, and maybe you're one of those people who just like let your wardrobe shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until you have no clothes. Like, and you're like, okay, I better buy clothes or I'm naked. And if you're happy with your home, you don't need to work so much that you can afford $1 million mansion. If you're happy with your furniture, you don't need to replace it. If you're happy with your life in general, like you don't need to buy a bunch of stuff. And that, I feel like that is huge, because just being happy with who you are and where you are and what you are, it's completely different. And does that mean every day is going to be great? No. Honestly, life sucks most of the time. But, I'm sorry, sore. Being happy, I'm so looking forward to PT next week. Ah. Um, Being happy, it's just, it's a huge money saver. And if you be happy or sad, why not be happy? And I mean, being happy isn't easy. It's a choice, it's a decision, and it's a series of choices and decisions. But I can tell you this, I think that if I was more financially secure, I think if I had $1 million in the bank, I would still live in this house. I think I would be it would be less stress, and I would be happier to some extent, just because like then I would have freedom. Like if I had $1 million in the bank, I would quit working shift or work it like very part-time, and I would probably like start a nonprofit um or do something different where I could make some different choices. But I feel like I don't think that it would really necessarily make me much happier so much as less stressed. So I mean, I guess in like the less stressed kind of a situation, yeah, but I can tell you this, having more stuff wouldn't make me happier. Having a bigger wardrobe wouldn't make me happier. Honestly, because of the whole losing weight thing, my wardrobe has been ridiculous for a good 6 or 7 months, because like you got the clothes like the one size up and one size down and like one size in the middle. So my closet feels like it's bursting. But no, getting a bunch of new stuff would not make me happier. A new car isn't going to make me happier. You know. So that's today's tip for frugal living. Just be happy where you're at. Happy with what you have. Find your happiness. Find your way to be happy. Remove things that don't make you happy. And find a way to be happy without spending money. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.